Welcome, everybody, to another riveting episode of Post to Post. Today, it's your favorite two people in the world, the brothers of discussion, myself, Grayson, and my brother, Will, the twin engines of destruction.
But we're not twins, but it works.
Yeah, we're not twins, but twin engines.
Yeah, I'm for it.
Get it. You get it.
Yeah, we just gotta we'll stretch the rules a little bit.
Yeah, as far as our listeners know, they don't know.
Well, they do now.
Yep, now you know. We are not twins.
Unless we get Falcon to cut that out. Don't cut that out.
Want to start over? Is that what you want to do?
No. I'm perfectly okay with this.
Yeah, there you go. Alright, perfect. So, how you doing? It's another riveting, instead of normally Tuesday, it is another riveting Wednesday night.
Yeah. We're Dynamite this week.
Yeah, so we're Dynamite.
Even though you'll be seeing us on Thursday, so we're Thursday night Dynamite.
There we go. We're no longer the Tuesday Night Titan.
You just had to do that, didn't you?
Oh, of course. Gotta bust your chap somehow, man.
It's good stuff. But
so
yeah.
Then, this week's actually had a pretty large amount of stuff. You know, I mean, there's been some things going on in WWE. There's some things going on with AEW. There's a big pay-per-view coming up that I got my special ticket to.
Oh.
And by that, I mean, I paid for it on pay-per-view.
Yep. I constantly see people in the wrestling groups online who are going this weekend, and I'm just like, man, must be nice to live in Florida where you can just go to wrestling shows fucking every other day, it feels like.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
there is a large abundance of wrestling. I mean,
yeah.
All of the WWE, all of AEW, all going down in the great sunshine state of mediocrity. That was me. The great sunshine state of Florida.
We don't want to alienate anyone that listens to us from Florida. We just, Florida.
All I'm going to say is you have a couple terrible drivers that puts a bad taste in my mouth.
But Florida has a reputation. That's why when you hear the words Florida man, you automatically know.
You know what's a great fun thing to do?
Mm-hmm.
Google your birth date and then put Florida man arrested.
Yes.
See what you get.
I forgot what the one I did one time was. Jesus, I don't remember, but it was pretty good. I think it had to do with like drugs and alligators or something.
Oh, perfect. He was putting drugs in the alligator butt.
It could have been. I mean, the world is your oyster when it comes to being a Florida man. But
true.
Let's talk about the Florida men and women that are entertaining in a good way, most times, and not in that weird sort of morbid curiosity way.
Okay.
So let's talk a little WWE, because honestly, that's where most of the news happened this week.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I'm going to segue into a nice one that really ties into Florida man with our very own, not Florida man, but Georgia man, Buff Bagwell.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, Buff.
You're on the stuff.
Buff is the stuff that's on the stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And that stuff's getting them hit with all the charges.
Yeah, fucking wasn't it 15 charges?
Yeah,
or something like that?
15 different criminal charges. 13 of them from the other day, and then 2 pre-existing ones.
It's fucking outrageous.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. He basically, he was out of his mind on something, more or less passed out behind the wheel, crossed the median, and smacked into something on the other side of the street, broke his hip, some other shit. He was fucked up. Not life-threateningly fucked up, but fucked up. Both physically and via whatever drugs he was on. But yeah, they slapped him with damn near everything. Let's see this laundry list. No felonies, just a lot of misdemeanors. Which, they add up. They truly do. The list of misdemeanor offenses are hit and run, 2 counts of following too closely, which is kind of weak, but, failure to yield when entering an intersection, speeding, driving within a median, driving on the wrong side of the road, duty upon striking a fixed object, driving under the influence of drugs, and reckless driving. Those are some of the main ones. What happened, he was driving his 2013 Chevy Tahoe, lost control while following a curve in the road. He struck a center median and a metal fence inside the median. Then he started driving toward oncoming traffic before his car hit a curb next to a bus station.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So, injuries. He suffered a broken right hip, broken ribs, a broken left eye socket, a torn groin, and has lots of bruising from the car wreck.
There's only time. In times like these, you can only ask WWJD. What would you do?
I don't even know.
What would Judy Bagwell do?
She would frown and shake her head and then try to, call in sick for him.
It's a ticket on a pole match!
Oh, God. Oh, Buff.
This was a genius! He'll be on the cover of USA Today again.
Mm-hmm. Apparently he has a July 22nd court date for some charges and a July 23rd court date for charges that stem from hit and run, giving false information to a police officer, another following too closely, a license to be carried and exhibited on demand, and an open container.
Someone was drinking.
Yeah, so he also couldn't show them his license. Or wouldn't.
Oh, that's so dumb.
Yeah. Oh, Buff. It's been a downward spiral for Buff ever since he got released.
Mm-hmm.
Way back. Poor Buff. He'll never reach the heights he did with the American males.
No.
Still a great tag team to watch. Solid mid-carders.
Scotty Riggs, man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Speaking of releases, since Buff was released many moons ago, well, as we've talked about since last year and a couple times earlier this year already, well, it's happened again. It feels like it's almost been, every 2 weeks, once a month that WWE's done a block of releases?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, they cut loose a few more this week in terms of talent, etc. Some of the ones released: Alexander Wolf, Ezra Judge, Skylar Story, Vanessa Bourne, Jessamine Duke, Kavita Devi, and Velveteen Dream have all been released over the past week. Not to mention referees Drake Wirt and Jake Clemens. Beyond that,
the one that was surprising for me was Alexander.
Yeah, that did surprise me because, from what I know about him,
he was with Walter's group, wasn't he?
I think so. He seemed like he was on the up and up, but then all of a sudden he was on the out and out.
I think they may have just called it a day just because I don't think he was renewing his contract.
Mm-hmm.
That's my guess, because from what I could tell, his contract was going to be up.
It's up
June.
June 15th. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess since he wasn't going to re-up, they just decided, all right, peace. But he's still going to get to ride out his contract. He just won't be on TV or anything. And that's how it seems there. Additionally, the short-lived commentator Adnan Virk cut loose.
Yep. He was the ESPN guy, right?
I think so, yeah. He came from a sports background, but he's never called any wrestling or anything like that.
I was there for 8 days.
Something like that. It wasn't long, whatever it was. It's just, you know, he wasn't good, and it's like he was learning on the fly, and WWE doesn't really do learning on the fly.
It's true, they don't.
If you don't already know it, they don't want you to know it. We could, I mean, other than that, there were some big releases on the higher end of things. One being one of the VPs, Brian Pelagato, has been cut loose because they were apparently merging a lot of departments to where everybody more or less reports to like one dude now. So what it is they basically cut down a ton of departments and done some restructuring. They got rid of Brian Pelagato, but they're pretty much merging a bunch of departments into one division that reports to Kevin Dunn.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I guess they're trying to streamline, not that it will really do them any good in the grand scheme of things. And again, just like last week, we're trying not to poo-poo on them too much. Yeah, that's the big thing about releases. I guess the biggest names on there, Alexander Wolf was the biggest surprise, and then Velveteen Dream, which honestly, he's been on life support ever since last summer when all that speaking out shit came up against him.
Oh yeah, for sure. And from what I could tell, his in-ring work kind of diminished a bit. I haven't watched it, so I can't speak on it. But yeah, there's a little bit of baggage there now that sort of stunted his persona and character, because you know your character is a reflection of you in a sense.
Yep.
And if you've got some stuff behind you that doesn't do well for the company. They tried. I'll give them that. You know, it took them almost a year since some of those allegations came out.
I know.
But
I mean, he still is adamant that you know, there was nothing untowards that happened. And, you know, there very well may not have been, but it's just one of those things. The timing and such was not in his favor, and he just never recovered from it. Yep. His WWE career took a straight-up nosedive. And, well, you know, hopefully nothing was true. I mean, he was a damn good in-ring talent. Mm-hmm. And all the best to him, but if it does come out to be true, then he got what he deserved.
Yep, that's pretty much it.
It is what it is, but, you know, don't want to wish ill on anyone, so fingers crossed he's on the positive end of things, but if not...
He I feel like he would be one that would be able to find a new home, or at least he would do well on an indie circuit for the time being until, I guess, some of the heat dies down. Because, his thing is a little... It's very dicey. But, despite, you know... Wait, hold on. Was he the one that did it with, like, the underage girl? Not, like, did it, but... I think it was like, flashed a dick.
That was supposedly what happened.
Yeah, that's... I want to say what he did wasn't as bad as Joey Ryan, but, you know, in a sense, Joey Ryan didn't do it with underage girls, so I don't know. I'm not going to go down that road.
Yeah, we said our piece on all that last summer, so if you want to listen to that, go back to one of our episodes from last summer. I forget which one exactly. And give it a listen. You'll hear us ramble about that for quite a while, and that's all while I'm sitting in a hot-ass car in a parking lot recording an episode during the summer.
Bitching about loud cars and motorcycles.
Yeah, that probably is that episode. It was probably early to late July. I won't say it's mid-July because there was a weird little gap there, but somewhere around there. Now, other things, WWE, since we covered all of the releases, before I forget, they also made cuts to their television and film production wing, WWE Studios. So they are really trimming a lot of fat over there.
And, like, at the same time, I get it, because, like, what are they doing, like, with that? Because I haven't seen anything come out since, what, The Pacifier or something?
God only knows, but everything they put out sucked. With the exception of some of, like, the TV series and, like, docu-series. Those were okay.
Yeah.
But...
I liked, I don't know if it was WWE Studios, but when Kane did that one horror movie, I think it was See No Evil, I liked that.
Oh, yeah. That was that a WWE Studios movie?
I want to say maybe.
Or maybe done in affiliation with. In partnership with.
Maybe.
Okay. Because, yeah, I heard good things about that. But, I mean, See No Evil is no Santa sleigh.
I don't think anything can be a Santa sleigh. Or even a ginger dead man. Yeah.
Woo.
That's it. WC at its finest.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, fine. Let's just go ahead and say it. We're going to address the elephant in the room. When it comes to WWE stars and movies, nothing touches Mr. Nanny.
Oh, God. I wish I owned that movie on DVD so bad.
There it is. We've said it. I mean, if you want to come even close, you still have to go Suburban Commando.
Oh, yeah.
And we're not
No
going...
Holds Barred doesn't even hold a candle to Mr. Nanny.
And we're not going to mention They Live or Hell Comes to Frogtown, because those are gems that don't even get classified in the same area. They transcend WWE talent acting in movies. We're just going with straight up, non-transcended, top of the pops. If you haven't done it, maybe we'll do it this summer. We'll do a shitty wrestler movies watch-along sometime in the coming weeks or months.
Watch Russell Madness.
Just anyone that wants to participate, go to the Facebook page. It's always in the description of the episode. Give us a follow and post what shitty wrestler-fronted movie you would like us to watch.
Yes.
We'll watch any of them.
I've seen a lot of shitty movies, so this ass can take it.
Yeah, same here. I mean, we cut our teeth on, like, Roger Corman and Mystery Science Theater caliber, like, bad, and then worse.
Talk to a guy who owns the movie Krull, but then again, I think Krull is a phenomenal
Krull is an amazing movie.
So, we're in the minority there.
I mean, I own a copy of The Lost Skeleton of Cadavra.
There you go.
I mean, a movie so bad and purposely made to be that bad that is enjoyably good. It's wonderful. But, yeah, other big news. WWE is jumping on the bandwagon of returning to live shows. They are set to return to damn near capacity crowds on July 16th. So, WWE will be bringing people back into the house. I wonder if they'll do a blend of Thunderdome and live.
I don't know. I feel like just because all the sports are kind of going full capacity, I think they'll just go full capacity.
Mm-hmm. Because, I mean, maybe what they'll do is... for, like, smaller venues, they might do a mix or something. But I could see that working. I really could. Like, do, like, the upper deck area, like Thunderdome, and then the lower area where you really want to see real people doing their thing. That way it makes the house look full. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be a smart move in the long run. If they can't run full capacity, then combining live and Thunderdome together would be a choice move.
Yeah, 100%. I think it'd be cool looking.
Yeah.
No, it depends on how they do it. Put the crowd up front, put the camera, the video screens in the back. Because I feel like if you did, people intermingled with.
Yeah, no, that's not the way to go. That's not the way to go.
That would be bad.
Mm-hmm.
In both appearance and, if they're serving beer, someone's going to get drunk and break it.
Yeah, they don't want their equipment down near the spectators, so you definitely want the TV screens higher up. So give the like live fans, like, say, at minimum, first 2 tiers of seating, and then put the Thunderdome screens a little higher up, close enough to where you can still see them and they still get a nice view, and like people can enjoy seeing themselves on TV. But not so much so that it's going to detract from the fact that there are actually people there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think it'll help WWE a lot to have people back. I do.
Oh yeah, for sure.
They need it. They need it bad. A Thunderdome is a wonderful gimmick.
Yes.
But they need the people.
I will say, the Thunderdome piqued my interest at first whenever they were all doing empty arenas. Like, I thought the ambiance, I guess you could put, of WWE's crowd was better than just a full empty crowd like AWTNA was doing. And then when AEW brought in like a little bit of people, that made it good. Because I kind of got tired of seeing all the wrestlers around the ring acting like a crowd and then kind of interjecting themselves in some way.
Yeah, that's the only
threw me off a little bit.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it was bad. It just
sometimes they do too much.
Yeah, it was just like, come on now.
Some of them get as bad as Green Shirt Guy with trying to put themselves over in the crowd, and it's a bit much.
Yes.
Yeah. So fingers crossed the return goes smoothly. So you want to take the part about a possible returning talent sticking their foot in their mouth?
Oh, yeah. So, the rumor is, our boy, everybody's favorite Fruity Pebbled Marine, John Cena, was on the topic of discussion for making a return to the WWE, which leads me to believe maybe it was to get that 17th title. So officially take the moniker over Ric Flair. But now WWE is also not happy at all, because John Cena, during a promo for Fast and Furious, is it 9 or 10?
Fuck if I know. Fast and the suck. That's all that matters to me.
Yeah, the only FF I need is Final Fantasy.
There we go.
So, the Fast and the Furious 9 or 10 is whichever one. Feel free to correct me feel free to let me know which one it is in the comments. He mentioned that, and this was a promotion for China, I believe, or it was just overall. He was just saying all the countries it's going to release in, and then he said Taiwan was a country, which in China, that's a big no-no. Because there's a big political hubbub, I guess, about that, where they claim they own Taiwan, where Taiwan stakes its independence. Yeah,
there's been a stink with that.
Yeah.
Many years.
And where WWE is upset is John Cena came out and in Mandarin apologized to the Republic of China for calling Taiwan a country. And pretty much both sides of the river are upset. We're upset because he bent the knee to China, that's a big thing. And then China's still upset because he never actually said Taiwan isn't a country. He just apologized for making that comment. Didn't say exactly that it wasn't a country. And then WWE, I think they fall into the category of Taiwan is a country, and they're upset that he even apologized.
Yeah.
It's not very well. He got put into a shitty stink by just kind of overselling the movie by a little bit. Just a small slip of the tongue, really.
It's a sticky situation.
Oh, yeah.
That's a sticky situation.
And that's a sticky situation.
Oh, classic South Park. But, I I agree that Taiwan is a country. I've been there. It is a very nice place. They really want to have their independence from China officially recognized. China, not about that shit. Not about it at all. I mean, China's going to do what China's going to do. Plain and simple. But, honestly, do they even really need Taiwan? No.
No.
It's just, you know.
It's an ego thing, I think.
It truly is. But we're not political correspondents or anything like that, so that's about as far as we're going to go with that.
Yeah, I'm not going to touch that anymore. No.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and move along. Now, I don't know about you, but for me, this was the biggest and best return news I've ever heard. Now, as you know, there's a certain WWE star who's newly minted in the realm of rich. He's nouveau riche, as it were.
Yeah.
And a certain former rich man has been coming along and, interacting with him, taking taking the wind out of his sails a little bit.
Buying that house out from under him like a true.
Yeah. Like a true, $1 million man.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when $1 million men are involved, there's certain titles in the picture.
Ooh.
And well, the $1 million belt, the $1 million title, is set to supposedly make a return. And I'm fucking for it. Fucking for it. Because that was one of the coolest looking gimmick belts there is. I mean, to put it lightly, you can't have a belt that is more recognizable than that. I mean, sure, John Cena had his fucking spinner belt.
Don't speak of that.
Rookie shit. That's what that is.
Stone Cold Steve Austin had his smoking skull. Brahma Bull had his Brahma Bull. John Cena had his spin belt.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel Bryan had his eco-friendly belt.
That didn't last long at all.
But the $1 million belt reigns supreme.
Mm-hmm.
Passed on to the ringmaster Steve Austin.
Yep.
Also performed the $1 million dream as his finisher.
Yes, he did.
It's great. I hope somehow they work Virgil into this.
Oh, God. As long as Virgil hasn't done something fucking stupid to burn some bridges over the years, they could easily do it.
How funny would it be if Virgil came in to be Cameron Grimes' bodyguard?
Oh, God.
Ted DiBiase comes out or something, but then Virgil comes to the ring and DiBiase's rubbing his hands. And then Virgil's like, nope, sucker punch with Grimes.
Man, that'd be something else. Virgil needs some love.
Yeah, when you have your misspelled banner and selling pictures of other wrestlers, you have it rough.
Honestly, I wonder if he's just not leaned into the gimmick and he's doing it because he knows it's funny.
I could believe it.
Yeah, I really could. But yes, the $1 million title has returned, so look out for diamond-studded dollar signs around someone's waist in the near future. Now, one thing I hope is I do hope that it kinda does get defended, unlike the FTW Championship.
Yeah. They do need to work that into some angles somehow.
They really do. They do indeed. Especially since they really want, as of late, they're really trying to push Brian Cage.
Mm-hmm.
Especially now that Ricky's on the shelf with injuries. Yeah, Cage is getting that push. So, I mean, why not? Taz talks about how that's a prestigious belt and it's unrecognized. Well, fucking have them defend it, and then they might recognize it. It'll put more prestige on it. Or as Birdman says, respect on the name. So they say. But that leads us in, if you haven't noticed, we're moving into the land of Tony Khan and company, AEW.
Oh, yeah.
Who, we were talking about it a while back. We had that nice little back and forth a couple weeks ago when Weatherman was talking about it and how, hockey was going to win out. Well, he was right. But we were also right because we said it wasn't going to be a just, hey, you're going to TBS, deal with it sort of situation or whatever.
We were more right. I'm just saying. I mean, I was never opposed to, they'll do it. I even said they're going to stay there unless they get paid.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? They got motherfucking paid. You got 8-figure payout, I believe. They got moved to what I think is a better television station. As we were talking about earlier, it's a more syndicated station compared to TNT because it has the bigger shows like Family Guy. So, like a lot of the
they've got more entertainment programming as opposed to sports programming.
Yeah, and then and just because of that regard, that sounds like a trade up. It's a horizontal move, but honestly, it's still a trade up.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, they're still getting shows on TNT. They still get 4 annual special events on TNT, 1 a quarter. So, sort of like their Bash at the Beach episode or the Bash, I forgot what they called it.
Yeah.
It's those types of blood and guts. There's special one-off Dynamites. They get 4 of those a year still on TNT. So at the same time, they're still on TNT.
Yeah. So, I mean, honestly, they came out ahead and getting that extra money. If they were hurting at all, now they're doing good. Because, 8 figures, you're looking at tens of millions of dollars.
Yep.
At the low end.
And that check right there.
Probably, sadly. But most of that money, is going to go on the back end of things. And that right there, or just that influx of cash on the back end is going to help recoup any sort of losses they've had. It won't do everything, but it's definitely going to help the company. So, it's a blessing in disguise. The weirdest thing to come out of it, though, is the fact that I'm not 100% sure if it means Dynamite is no more, but the way it seemed to me on first announcement is, 1, Dynamite's still going to be on Wednesday, it's just moving to TBS. Mm-hmm. But in August, they are adding a Friday night show. That being Rampage. So, it's either going to work 2 ways. 1, Dynamite phases out, so it doesn't compete with sports on a Wednesday, and becomes Rampage on Friday nights. Or 2, they run 2 programs a week. Wednesday night.
They're doing 2 programs. Dynamite's not going.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Dynamite's still a thing. Rampage is their second television show.
Yeah, that's what I thought, and that's the way I understood it. But at the same time, I've heard other things making me wonder.
But whoever's saying that is reading the wrong articles, because that's exactly what Tony Khan said.
See, I thought I heard it right, so I just wanted to cover all of my bases. Yeah. And I had heard correctly, which is good. But yeah, so 2 shows, excellent. That means more stuff going on. Hopefully, what they can do is as long as they don't do some sort of brand bullshit like SmackDown and Raw, fuck that. As long as they spread their talent out and they dance back and forth between the 2 shows so you don't lose people who are like, I'm always going to tune into this one because so-and-so's on this night and they're never on this night. That'll fuck you in the long run. I
think they'll do it right because they already do it right with Dark. They still have the big names on Dark as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I agree. Having 2 shows, it's going to cost them a little more production-wise, but at the same time, they're going to bring in more ad revenue. So it might offset that extra production cost. So fingers crossed, this turns into a financial boon for them. That's what I'm hoping for. But I look forward to 2 shows starting in August. I do. And hopefully... Okay. Here's what I want to see happen. Split up this gigantic, bloated Dynamite announce team.
Yeah.
Give yourself a Dynamite team and a Rampage team. That's what you need.
I would say that's what they'll do. They'll probably put... I feel like they put Taz and Big Show on Rampage.
That would be a good pairing, just because of the name, but I almost think it'll be Shivani and Big Show on Rampage.
I could believe it.
Because they have that good rapport when they're doing commentary on Dark Elevation.
Yeah.
It'll probably be JR and Excalibur still on Dynamite, because that's the way it's been forever. With special pop-ins here and there. But I would personally like to see everything spread out, and honestly, just use JR as a fucking special event commentator. He doesn't need to commentate all the time. He really doesn't. Love him to death, but he's not as quick as he once was.
It's true.
Yep. Now, shall we dive into our predictions? Or no, let's not dive into our predictions yet. We got to talk a little bit more about this special Friday night Dynamite Go Home show coming up. So, looking at it, the card for Friday night, we've got a few matches going on then. First, Joey Janela versus Hangman Page. If it's anything like their match was at All In, or was it Janela? Yeah, it was Janela.
Yeah, it was Janela, in the Cracker Barrel fight.
It's going to be fucking great. Because I don't care who hates Joey Janela. I fucking enjoy the shit out of him.
I love it. He needs to be on TV more.
I know. He's the one person who apparently just has the cushiest fucking contract with AEW, and I think we've talked about this recently. Because he's working with GCW?
I think so.
All the fucking time.
And they probably know they're not going to use him, so might as well let him go do something. And then, if he's not hurt, bring him in for those one-offs, because every time he's there, it's just a one-off match. Because I'm pretty sure the Sonny Kiss Joey Janela tag team is done.
Yeah, I'm about sure that's done.
I think it just didn't take off because people hate Sonny Kiss for some homophobic reason.
Probably. I like Sonny Kiss. Doesn't bother me at all.
I'm cool with Sonny Kiss. I think he's great.
Mm-hmm. And hopefully, been training and getting even better in the ring. Because there was a lot of potential there for athletic wrestling. Janela and Page. I'm not sure whether that's an opener. I'm just going to assume it is. Then you've got the Jade Cargill Open Challenge. One, she's still really shitty on the mic.
She sucks in general. She's got the look, but she's just not good.
She's way too fucking green.
Mm-hmm.
Way too green. I hope she's been training this entire time, which is good. They haven't tried to put her out too much. And they've kept her, in the public eye with, weekly or bi-weekly little vignettes and this whole the courtship of the managers with her, which I like the fact that they are pushing managers pretty well in AEW, unlike other promotions.
Mm-hmm.
But first, she needs someone to fucking speak for her, because goddamn, you can tell with her stilted delivery, she's either reading from a prompter or she's just reading off memorized exactly what it said on the paper and is just spouting it straight back. There's no off the cuff or improv at all. Yeah,
she hasn't gotten affiliated with her character enough to be able to just make it sound natural.
Mm-mm.
This is true.
Yeah, it's rough to listen to. There's a lot of potential with her just because she's got the look, but as of right now, I'm just ugh, get her a manager.
Yeah, I mean, she's strong as hell. She's got the physique that any, wrestler would want.
Yeah.
But I don't want to put her in that, but she's at the Ava Marie level. But a little bit opposite end of the spectrum. She's more athlete than, I guess, model would be the best verbiage for that.
I think you're right.
But I think Jade has way more potential than Ava. By far.
Yeah, that makes sense. Next, you've got our boy Miro versus Dante Martin from Top Flight for the TNT title. This I hate seeing it happen because, one, I'm ready for Dante's brother to get back, so Top Flight's back in action because they have a lot of potential with their age, and honestly, like a lot of people complain about them, I think they look good in the ring for their style. But this is a squash match. It's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
Miro is just going to tear him apart. I mean, truly, there's no two ways about it. Dante Martin is going to be dismantled by Miro.
Yes.
But yeah, maybe it'll also be a good way to reintroduce his brother. He's getting the shit kicked out of him so hard his brother comes in to try to save the day. And then Miro beats the shit out of both of them.
Yeah, and that would help solidify him as a thing, because they're still too young to be pushed to the front end. So, getting a beat down at this stage is fine. And that would help solidify Mira as just being this monster to be reckoned with, which is what they need to do with them, just because of sort of how long that one gimmick with Kip went.
Oh, God. Yeah.
And, I mean, I didn't hate it.
I didn't either, but honestly, the Kip gimmick just seemed like something they threw together because the Jimmy Havoc fell through.
Mm-hmm.
And I would love to see Jimmy Havoc come back, and you never know.
Yes.
But it's unlikely right now. I liked Jimmy Havoc. I did. Next, you got the weigh-in for Double or Nothing of Anthony Ogogo and Cody Rhodes. Okay.
Nothing new. They do that with a lot of the big Cody matches now, the weigh-ins.
Yeah. I know.
It was really cool when they did it with Aldous, because that, in my opinion, was like a big deal.
Yeah.
But Anthony Ogogo is still sort of, in my eyes, a new recruit.
He's green. He's not good in the ring.
So it's not.
He's just big and impressive looking.
So it's not really, a big main event caliber where we need a weigh-in.
Yeah, and they're just pushing this whole US versus UK thing. I'm like, God, that's some hack-ass 80s bullshit.
Yeah.
And, like, Cody posted up, like, his new merch for the weekend, which was, like, United States versus United Kingdom in, like, a little shield shape. And then he posted a picture of his new weight belt that just said American on the back of it. And Scotty Riggs from the American Males is, like, just sent him like a message that copycat, and then posted a picture that said American Males on it.
That's funny.
I was just like, that's perfect. Thank you, Scotty Riggs.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, I mean, oh God, it's like, I like Cody, I do, but what he's trying to do right now, and as of late, it's souring me on him. It really is.
I hope this is just a really long game to turn him heel.
God, I want Cody to turn heel again so bad. And I still think it's fucking super egotistical for him to call himself the American Dream, even for one night only. It's fucking dumb.
I can agree.
I mean, it makes sense, but at the same time, this hack-ass match that's going to happen, where if Cody doesn't put Ogogo over, Ogogo's fucked.
Yeah, I feel like that's what's going to happen, though, is Ogogo will probably end up winning. And it'll probably be a dirty win. It won't be clean.
Oh, no.
He'll get the win.
Yeah, because, I mean, if Ogogo doesn't win this match this weekend, and we'll talk about that more when we do our predictions, I mean, he's fucked. Plain and simple. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. Every Cody setup for a big match has gotten so fucking predictable. It's the same thing all the time. All the time. But moving on, the Inner Circle are celebrating their greatest moments. This, again, is one of those things that worries me when they're going into a pretty much existence-threatening match over the weekend. This just basically seems like a clip show saying, hey, we're gone. Later. That's the vibe I get from it. What about you?
We'll get into that. I agree. That's what it does feel like, though.
Mm-hmm. Then we got Evil Uno and Stu Grayson, our boys from the Dark Order, versus Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky. So short and long, Uno and Grayson, they're jobbing out. They're going to do the job. Nothing wrong with that, but they're definitely going to have to do the job because Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky are the hot ticket right now, so they're going to have to be put over.
Yes.
Yep. So that's what we've got going on right now. And then you got Darby Allin versus Cesar Bononi. You know, Darby's going to win. Then you got Hikaru Shida's AEW Women's Championship 1-year celebration.
Which follows the same route as the Stadium Stampede.
Mm-hmm. The same route as the Inner Circle Greatest Moment celebration.
Yeah.
It's just a precursor to her losing a belt. And we've already talked about that. We talked about it last week. We'll go over it a little bit more here in a moment. But, you know, it's just the vibes they give out. It's like sometimes, you know, hey, we could be wrong. And if we're wrong, fucking A, that's great. But if we're right, which is what we probably are, because, you know, it is what it is. Mm-hmm. We shall see. And then lastly, we've got Orange Cassidy responding to Kenny's offer to just not do the triple threat match this weekend. He's not going to do that. No, he's going to be in that match because this is just, you know, it's just a gimmick thing to build some more, you know, some more flash and substance for this match coming up. Make Kenny seem that much shittier and like the scaredy boy heel. That character rubs some people the wrong way, but that's just because they don't like bombastic characters. And that's what Kenny is. Every character that Kenny plays is bombastic and over the top. Heel Kenny in New Japan when he was with Bullet Club. Over the fucking top. He came out Terminator glasses and a fucking broom. Mm-hmm. That's where the whole cleaner thing came from, because I mean it was a funny little miscommunication that became a joke, and then it worked. He put it over because it was over the top, and it made sense. He's doing the same thing here. He's playing it up like some of the classics, but he's dialed it up to 11. Mm-hmm. Really has.
And I still love his entrance with the fucking girls coming out.
Yeah, it's great. I enjoy heel Kenny so much more than face Kenny. Mm-hmm. It's great. The Bucks are back there.
So good at playing as a heel.
Yeah, and people bitch about the Bucks heel character too. I'm like, this is great. I like the snotty Bucks. I mean, granted, they're going to have to evolve their heel character before too long because they're not getting any younger. Eventually, it's going to have to transition to kind of fit the age a little bit more, but they still do it super well. I'm not gonna shit on it at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, but later on down the line, they're gonna have to address that elephant in the room. But as of right now, these snotty ass classic Bullet Club Bucks, the Ring of Honor heel Bucks, they are great, and that's what we're seeing right now—a new incarnation, and I'm for it. Other than those fucking shitty tights.
Yes. I love the tights. I don't care.
I know you do.
I was going to say, you've been saying all this, but over the past couple weeks, all you done was talk shit on them. It's like, he just changed his tune. And then you drop that, and I was like, oh yeah, he's always talking about how shitty their outfits are.
Yeah, I've always gonna talk shit about the outfits. They're awful. But, well, awful from the waist down. The jackets and shit have been on point.
Everything's been on point. Fucking rubbing the salt in the people with their fucking $10,000 Dior shoes and going out and wrestling in them, and it was like all the sneakerheads. Why are you doing that? You're ruining the shoes. They don't care. They got more money than you. Get over it.
I mean, they're sneakerheads too. They probably have 2 fucking pairs.
Hell, they're not buying those shoes.
No,
TNT did.
Yeah, TNT did. They got those fucking sniper bots. Actually, they probably just straight up called Dior and be like, hey, I need a couple of these. And they're like, fuck yeah, here you go. But yeah, they don't have to worry about it. Sneakerheads are fucking weird. I mean, kudos to you for having something you love to collect, but I'll take my toy collecting headaches because I could only imagine the headache of trying to be a sneakerhead. The only sneakers I'm kind of pissed I missed out on are those badass Beastie Boys Adidas.
Yeah, those are pretty.
Oh god, they sold out so fast though.
Well, luckily we can maybe get the Aglio e Olio album.
Yeah. Fingers crossed.
Crossed indeed.
Alright, so now to the meat of the show. Predictions for this weekend's pay-per-view, Double or Nothing. So, starting our predictions for Double or Nothing, we're going to start with, more or less, we're going to kind of guess the order, but it's almost a guarantee that the Casino Battle Royale is going to be the first thing to buy in. Yeah. So, people participating in this right now. Griff Garrison, Brian Pillman Jr., Preston Vance, Stu Grayson, Nick Camarado, QT Marshall, Lee Johnson, Dusty Rhodes, fuck. That'd be a zombie in the ring. Dustin Rhodes, Anthony Bowens, Max Caster, Penta, Isaiah Cassidy, Mark Quinn, Matt Sydal, Christian Cage, Matt Hardy, Powerhouse Hobbs, Evil Uno, Colt Cabana, Jungle Boy, and a mystery entrant. Quite a lot of people in there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm personally, my main thoughts are they're going to use this as a vehicle to put over Christian Cage even more.
I don't think so. Because from what I know, he was supposed to be in a slight feud with someone else, but they got injured. Mm-hmm. And when that happened, he just kind of got inserted into the match. So I think he'll get a few moments in, but he won't win.
Gotcha. I mean, I wasn't going to choose him anyway. Personally, anytime there's a battle royal, I'm going to go with the mystery contestant. Every time. That's
the safest bet, because the only they almost always win when it's the Casino Battle Royale.
Yeah, I mean it's not a guarantee. It is a safe bet, yes, but I also want to bet on the surprise because I'm hoping it's something good. Like, I can't remember any major rumors of who could be popping in for something. I mean, fuck, we could be surprised. It'll be goddamn Samoa Joe. I mean, that'd be badass. But I doubt it.
No, he still has the non-compete clause.
Is he still in that? I didn't know he had a non-compete.
You only get a non-compete clause if you run out your contract. If they release you before the end of your contract, you have the 90 days.
Okay. When was he released? It wasn't that long ago yet.
Maybe
a month and a half. Okay. So yeah, he's still well in it. Well, then that means Daniel Bryan could feasibly.
Yeah, Daniel Bryan could
feasibly. It could also be a New Japan talent.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it'll be someone we really want to see from New Japan.
Oh man, how crazy would it fucking be if it was like a fucking Evil or Kenta
or Jay White?
Ooh, that'd be sick.
I know.
Right. Because then new current BC versus old BC.
Yeah, you could really start a nice little.
And that could do, and because everything's semi opening up, You know, even though Japan's kind of backtracked since they've been the COVID outbreak.
Yeah, only slightly. They haven't had a bunch, but their stuff's still doing really, really well.
Well, I will say, like, the United States and everyone is like, you might want to think twice about going to Japan. And these are to the Olympic athletes going to the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, there's a lot of concern with it there. It's not like a small outbreak going down. It's actually pretty substantial.
It's substantial, but at the same time, Japan has done such a good job, really, keeping things in check. I mean, who knows how that one thing could have happened? It could have been something that's like a super simple thing. Is one of the people working with quarantined individuals who were coming in accidentally got it, and then it went from there.
Yeah.
It could be something as simple as that, but the way they've been doing things for as long as they've been doing it, their track record is really good.
Mm-hmm.
So, who knows?
But when it comes to my official guess is also the TBA. Okay. Mm-hmm. But just because I don't know, I always want to get a second one, just based off of who is actually in the field.
Yeah.
So, it's not going to be Matt Sydal. It's not going to be Haas. I could believe Penta, but at the same time, they've kind of tarnished his aura, I guess you could say, over time. Because, All In, it was the biggest fucking deal that Kenny and Penta were wrestling.
Yeah.
But now, since they're on there, it's been a lot of start-stops because of Phoenix sort of getting injured. And then the flip-flop between Eddie Kingston and the other dude, I forgot.
And Death Triangle.
Yeah. So it's sort of, it's hard to know for sure what they're doing with him. I could believe Jungle Boy.
I could, but I feel like he's already won one of those recently.
Yeah, something. He won something. I could also believe Matt Hardy.
I could as well, especially if they play up Big Money Matt a little bit more, like he pays off a fair number of people.
Yeah.
There aren't too many people who would take a dive in this match, though, sadly.
Yeah, I don't believe anyone else in the Matt Hardy faction will win, so that takes out Private Party and Butcher and the Blade. So I think
they're not even in it.
The Blade is.
I may have overlooked his name, but I don't see it on the list right here.
Don't see Evil Uno winning.
Nah.
Colt Cabana is a very long guess.
He's a long shot.
Just because of the old BTE segments, and they never really ended it.
Mm-hmm.
Preston Vance is a possibility, but also a long shot.
He's still really green.
The Varsity Blondes won't do it. Max Caster, Anthony Bowens won't do it. Get the fuck out of here with your QT Marshall.
Yeah.
Colorado would be an interesting one, but it's too soon.
Mm-hmm.
Dustin Rhodes, it'd be a good match, but no.
Mm-hmm.
And then Lee Johnson, who I'm having trouble recollecting who that even is.
Lee Johnson is Shoddy Lee.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, another Nightmare Factory.
Gotcha.
Or Nightmare Family, rather.
So, if I had to choose any one of those three, it would actually go to probably Christian Cage, Jungle Boy, and Matt Hardy. Mm-hmm. And even though I said I doubt he'll win, I still say that because I picked TBA. But yeah, it'd probably be Christian Cage.
Gotcha. That's a good safe bet. I mean, he's really the only one that's a true standout, and it kind of plays into his story arc. But I still feel like it's also a little bit on the soon side. But we'll see. I'm still going TBA. You're going TBA. But as a caveat, we both kind of have a safety pick with Christian Cage. But
yeah, but if it's not TBA, we are wrong.
Exactly.
Let's be.
Yeah. Next, let's see. What do I think?
If it's next? Christian Cage, we're half right. We'll take half credit.
Okay, I'll take it. I'll do that.
Oh, the weaseling begins.
Yes, the weaseling begins. Let's see. Logically, I think the next match, if we were really going to do with hype, It'll probably be Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky versus Sting and Darby Allin.
Yeah. I think it'll be Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky.
I think it will be too. But dirty. It's not going to be a clean win.
Oh, yeah, no.
That's
I think
the only
it'll be another, like, Darby does something crazy, but it ruins the match for them, in a sense.
Yeah.
Because, they play we're the smarter than you kind of angle a little bit at this.
Exactly. That's kind of how I see it happening, too. Looking at it now as well, I would say the next match will probably be Page and Cage. Hangman versus Brian Cage.
Mm-hmm.
This one I'm torn.
I think it'll be Hangman.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I think he has more going for him.
He does, but at the same time, I worry that, say...
No, it could be Cage. Because I don't think... Because, I've said Hangman will get the belt from Kenny.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see that happening till closer to the end of the year.
Yeah.
It could be Cage. I don't know.
It's a tricky one, this one. It really is. I feel like if it's Hangman, it makes sense because Cage has been doing him dirty and just getting one up on him the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
But I also fear that if Hangman wins, it's going to kind of hurt Cage's momentum.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be a moment to where Cage turns his back on Team Taz. That's not going to happen. Because, everything's working really well. He has not been shown any sort of remorse when they've done anyone dirty with sneak attacks as of late. He's rolled right with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like any sort of trouble in paradise we once saw pretty much ended when Ricky Starks got put on the shelf.
Yeah.
So that's not happening.
Come back, Ricky.
Yeah, I enjoy Ricky Starks a lot. One of the best things to come out of modern NWA.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm going to go against my personal inclinations, and I'm going to go with Cage.
I'll go with Page then.
Okay.
That way, at least one of us will be right. But
yeah,
I don't know. They could keep it going. They could honestly keep the feud going because really it's just 1-0. You could do a 1-1.
Yeah.
And then keep it going to the next All In or another thing. So I'm still gonna say fucking Page.
Yeah, the next one would probably be Fight for the Fallen, I think.
Yeah.
And that's over the summer. But yeah, I feel like to really hammer it home, I think, and for Page to get, or not Page, but for Brian Cage to get some good momentum, which he deserves, he needs to win it.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that's how it's going to be booked, that Cage wins. I don't care if it's a dirty win, but at the same time, we've mentioned dirty wins a lot already, and we don't, even though AEW is known to do it, we don't want to take too many trips to the same well. Gotta keep fresh a little bit. Nami.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Next, this is probably a good time to mix things up a little bit and go with Miro versus Lance Archer.
Miro.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like this is honestly a rock and a hard place for Archer.
Yeah.
It's like he's supposed to be a big bad, but like every time he gets thrown into something, it's sort of the worst time to do it.
I know Miro just now got his steam, so if you give Archer that rub, he should have gotten fucking last year this time. Now, you're going to kill Miro's momentum. Mm-hmm. Miro needs it more. Archer will be fine. He's made it this long and hasn't really lost a step in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
But if you hurt Miro now, he's damn near done for a while, unless you just make him disappear for a bit and then bring him back fresh with like almost a whole new gimmick. Like that's what I see if they don't put Miro over. Now, AEW, like much like Weatherman says, AEW's bad for overbooking shit. But this really is one of those times you want to play the overbook card, in my opinion, and have someone come in and fuck with this match. Just for Archer's sake. Not to get him a win, but just to either, one, get the match thrown out.
That's what I think should happen as well.
Yeah.
Sort of like he just overly starts beating Miro somewhat, and then Miro makes a strong comeback, but then he just like does a beatdown sort of and prolongs this feud.
Mm-hmm. Because I mean that could be a really good feud, in my opinion.
It's the Murder Hawk monster.
Yeah. And he's gotten so much better on the mic over the past couple years.
Mm-hmm.
So much better.
Jake the Snake's gotten something going.
I know, right? It's good, but I mean,
way better than those promos like when they first got together.
Oh God, yeah, he's getting better. He's getting better all the time. And I don't care how many people talk shit about Miro promos. I enjoy the fact that his grasp of English is not amazing and his accent's so thick. It makes them better to me.
Yes.
He he has weird little missteps in it, but I know what he's fucking trying to say. I'm not stupid. And I think he does a good enough job. So, there's that. So yeah, I'm definitely going Miro as well, much like yourself. Now we need a little breather before we hit the high end of the evening. So I'm going to say after that, middle of the night, really. Because Cody has to have... Cody wouldn't go early, in my opinion. That's why I kind of picked where I was there. I could be wrong, but that's my thoughts. I'm going to say now is time for Cody and a go-go.
Yeah.
And, like I said before, a go-go needs to win. He needs.
Yeah, a go-go does need the win.
I'm going to go for a go-go. I really am. Is it going to happen? I'm going to say probably not. Because it's Cody. But, at the same time, Cody should have the wherewithal to know when to let the ego, stand to the side a little bit. The only thing that gives me pause and says otherwise is the fact that he took on his dad's moniker for one night only. That's almost the reason why I think a go-go is going to get crushed. But I'm still going to choose a go-go because that, to me, is the smarter booking of that match. What's your logic on your choice?
I think it'll be a go-go just because they need to start pushing a new people.
Mm-hmm.
And with fucking, every time it's one of these, it seems that, Cody wins. It's just not gonna keep working.
Mm-hmm. People are going to get sour on Cody. I mean, fucking everyone I know is already fucking sour on 90% of his promos because they're long and overblown. And 2, he can't come out without 8 years of production. Like, I can't think of the last time Cody truly came out without coming out in the middle, other than that random run-in he did from the face tunnel a few weeks ago. He's always got to come out and be the center of attention. It's bullshit.
I can agree.
Yeah. All right. So moving forward, after this, I'm going to say after Cody and everybody, this would personally be the best time for either the Stadium Stampede or Shida and Baker. I'm going to say Stadium Stampede would be next. Middle, like, more or less, upper middle edge, gives you a break from the usual side of things and something to kind of, get you ready for pretty much what I think would be the best finish, title match.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom. The biggest titles in the company, back to back to back. So that's why I'm going to go ahead and say we predict Stadium Stampede next. I'm going Pinnacle.
I'm going to go, I was thinking Inner Circle.
Okay.
Just because they still need factions. I don't care what anyone says. They need the factions. So, like, let them win this one and then let the Pinnacle win the third one.
Mm-hmm.
To fit the nail in the coffin. Whereas, and then, it's not a faction has to break up.
Yeah. The problem, the one reason why I don't go with the Inner Circle on this one is just because the fact that they put that faction has to break up caveat, it just seems like a reason to kind of spread some of these guys out a little bit. And just to put a decisive, spin on the Pinnacle. I mean, to me, they rushed this feud. It's moved too fast. It should have been way more drawn out to get to this point right now. For a faction versus faction, winner takes all, loser basically breaks up.
Yeah.
I think it's moved too fast. Yeah, we want the classic back and forth and then the final definitive, win. And it should be the Pinnacle that comes out on top because the Inner Circle's established. They've been here for a while. For lack of a better term, they're not going anywhere. So, I mean, sure, I probably just spoke against my own prediction right then and there.
Oh, you 100% did.
But, to me, I just think there's going to be some sort of chicanery. If the Pinnacle wins, Inner Circle's not going to break up. They're not. They're going to figure out some sort of shiesty way to stay together. What it is, I don't know. They're going to pull a page right out of the MJF playbook and flip it around on them. That's what I see, but I'm still going to call the Pinnacle for the win, so I can see this Inner Circle trying to outmaneuver the Pinnacle on the back end.
I don't agree with pretty much anything. I think it's just going to play out best of 3, and this way, when they finally lose, there's no leaving, because honestly, Jake Hager has his side stuff, so there's no reason for him to be solo. Sammy Guevara has kind of built his whole thing around them and his blog, so I don't see him leaving that. Proud and Powerful, the only ones I could see being, by themselves in some way, shape, or form. Yeah. And then Jericho, I don't know. I like seeing him more with people behind him.
Yeah.
Or unless he's trying to branch off to do some sort of solo tour stuff, or maybe it's, they could break him up just because he could be going on tour.
I do believe he has a tour this summer.
Yeah. So, I mean, it could happen just from that, but I still don't think they will. I think it's more of a win, and then they'll do another one, and then he gets injured. Or, maybe they pull off a victory, but Jericho's injured during the match. Mm-hmm. And that's how they write him off. There's numerous ways.
Yeah. Lots of ways. All right. So next, now we're going to hit the big three matches of the night. First one, Sheeta versus Baker. It's Britt.
Yes.
I mean,
finally.
Yeah, Britt. It's her time. 100%. Love Sheeta to death, but at the same time, she hasn't done a lot as a champ. I agree. In that regard, with comments from Weatherman and others, she hasn't done much. When she does perform, I think she does great. I don't know why so many people say she looks bad. I think she looks decent when she does stuff. You can see a little bit of green. You can. It's not amazing. She definitely got forced into the championship picture way too soon. But it was kind of a means to the end. A means to an end. With who was available to work at the time. Sort of thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's definitely Britt Baker. Anything you want to add, or are you good with that?
No, I think you're good.
All right. Next, the Bucks versus Mox and Kingston. The Bucks aren't dropping these belts.
No.
No. I think Mox and Kingston are going to look damn good, because I kind of like them as a tag team. Other people say they don't look right as a tag team. What the fuck are you watching?
Yeah, I like them together. They complement each other.
Yeah, they do. I definitely want to see more of them as a tag team, but I also want to see them more as a tag team that's not really in the title picture. Because they don't seem like a title-worthy tag team. Not because they're not good, but just because... Well, I don't really have a reason for why. It's just because. But I do enjoy them. And they work well together. And then finally, the main event of the night. The triple threat match between Kenny, Pac, and Orange Cassidy. Yeah. Kenny's going to win. Plain and simple. Now, who is going to take the L?
I could see Pac. Because they've already planted the seeds for an Orange Cassidy feud.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. I mean, Kenny's going to get his decisive... That makes sense right there. I was about to say it and defend it right there. Pac is the only person to beat Kenny. Mm-hmm. Truly. Kenny's going to get his decisive win over Pac. That way it's going to later on lead into the third one to say who is truly the best. But Kenny's going to get his decisive win over Pac to make up for the fact that he lost to him back in 2019. Orange Cassidy is going to be a nice thorn in the side. And mostly he's there because he's hella fucking popular. That's the main thing. I enjoy watching Orange Cassidy work. His gimmick is absurd to the point of being incredibly enjoyable. For me, anyway. Mm-hmm. Possibly even for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's wonderful. But is he going to ever have the AEW Championship? No.
I can see him getting it at some point.
If he does, I don't see it happening unless he changes his gimmick. I don't.
I can see it happening.
I mean, I'm not going to say it won't, but I just don't see it. I don't. I see other belts, if they introduce another mid-tier title, definitely see him getting a TNT title run for an extended period of time. But in terms of Big Platinum, I don't see it. But yeah, I think Kenny will probably get some sort of win over Pac. I would like... Let's see, Pac got him in the Brutalizer out of the One-Winged Angel, if I remember correctly, from All Out.
Yeah.
So this will be the time for Kenny to really nail the One-Winged Angel and be like, that was a fluke, and get the 1, 2, 3. But he's going to have to do something to sideline Orange. So either one, Orange is going to get cold-cocked by Pac again, or two, Orange is going to be the one that knocks Pac loopy. Kenny's going to send him out of the ring somehow and then take advantage of it.
I just see Kenny beating Pac.
Yeah, fair enough. I was just trying to bounce.
That's pretty much just it. They're going to put up a good fight. Orange might hit his move on someone, but then Kenny knocks him out, and then One-Winged Angels him. That's the most simple, obvious finish.
Yep.
But, you know, Kenny's better than that, so probably be a little different.
Could be. Either way, I'm looking forward to it. Something good's going to happen.
Yes.
Plain and simple. But yeah, that pretty much covers AEW Double or Nothing. I have a feeling it's going to be pretty good. I look forward to the turnout and the stops they're going to pull out for their first live pay-per-view in front of a real crowd somewhere not Daly's Place. That to me is going to be the biggest thing coming up anytime soon.
What was it?
I said, other than Double or Nothing being good, I look forward to their first pay-per-view back in front of a live crowd traveling.
Yes, I can agree.
Because they're going to pull out all the fucking stops. You know they will.
Oh yeah, they'll throw some money at it to make it a big affair. Same with what WWE should do.
Mm-hmm.
They should do something too, you know. I would love for them to do a retro throwback and make everything like super old school.
Yes.
That's off topic, you know, from what we're talking about, but I mean like old ass intro, old ass fucking ring, old ass ring layout, like 80s old.
Big Blue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to see a full-blown throwback. I really would. Now, last topics of the night, real quick. We've already mentioned a little bit with COVID and New Japan and such. Well, they returned to action just the other day. Their first event back was on the 24th. It was one of their things leading up to, I believe it's Wrestle Grand Slam, if I remember correctly. It's baseball themed, so I think I'm right there. But they returned to that. Now, the funny thing about the card for this show is due to the number of talent that were diagnosed positive with COVID, there was only a singles match on that entire card. Only one. The opening match was the only singles match of the night. Every other match was a tag match. And the singles match was the Tokyo Pimp, and it was one of the young lions. I forget his name. One of the popular ones, not Ren Narita, who, if I had mentioned it before with AEW, I'll mention it now. Ren Narita's been getting some push on AEW, getting some matches on Dark, etc. So good for him on his excursion. Yeah.
Wasn't Rocky Romero on there, and Trent Beretta saved him out, and they high-fived? Was that them?
It may have. It may have happened on Dark or something. I need to go back and watch it because I've fallen really far behind on Dark. But if that happened and Roppongi Vice had like a little micro reunion, that's pretty badass. Yeah. But the only match of the night, a Young Lion versus the Tokyo Pimp, the only singles match, and Tokyo Pimp wins. Then we had a night full of tag matches. Yeah. The tag team of Zack Sabre Jr. and Doki got the win over the Bullet Club tag team of Chase Owens and Gato. But the funny thing is, the reason why it was Zack Sabre Jr. and Doki is because Taichi was on commentary.
Mm-hmm.
Because apparently, am I wrong in saying that Taichi was one of the ones that tested positive at the time?
I just read today that he tested positive for COVID.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Apparently, that's probably the case, but they had him on commentary. So, what I think probably happened is, it happened over the thing. He's free and clear, but he hasn't been cleared to perform in ring yet.
Mm-hmm.
So, they've got him on commentary.
Could be.
The Japanese commentary team. But, yeah, the whole reason they ran an entire tag night was because a bunch of performers are out. A whole bunch of them. I feel like just like I said last week, I haven't been able to find a list of anyone. I've looked, but I think Okada was one of them, and a few of the other bigger names. But Okada being the one that comes to mind. Taichi's still on up there. I haven't heard any sort of rumor that Jay White or Tanahashi or anybody was like that. Well, Tana wasn't because he was in a tag match the other night. But yeah, I really don't know who all it was. I've looked, and I have as of yet to find a list. If someone else has found a list, please share it with us because I would like to see. But lastly, last little bit of New Japan news. We talked about it last week, that Ospreay's injury, which he sustained on the May 4th event for the Road to Wrestling Dontaku, in his title defense there, that's where he injured his neck in that match. So, with his return to the ring being indefinite, that's why he was stripped. So again, this is a little recap for anyone that didn't listen last week. But New Japan still does not know what direction they want to take with this belt. They haven't figured out exactly what they're going to do to put it back out there. Most likely, in classic New Japan fashion, they're going to have an eliminator tournament.
Yeah.
They're going to put the biggest ones in there. What I think is going to happen, this is my thoughts, it's going to come down to Shingo and Jay White.
I can believe it.
Because if Shingo gets it, it's going to make Shingo look badass because he was starting up a feud with Will Ospreay. Okada was who Ospreay wanted to go after first. That was their personal feud, and because Ospreay's gone, there's no point in Okada going after that belt unless they want to put up the angle that Okada got the belt again. They want to put some jealousy thing in later on when Ospreay returns. But that's very, very long game, and that also gets that belt stuck on Okada for an incredibly long period of time.
Yeah, that's true. And they already did that once with the the heavyweight title.
Yes.
So, yeah, I could believe the Shingo and Jay, and maybe I could believe Jay do a feud with Shingo. Shingo takes it, then they feud with Okada. Okada gets it, and then Will Ospreay makes his return. So 3 months, and then 3 months.
Yeah, that sounds fair.
That's a safe way of doing it.
Mm-hmm. The reason why I throw Jay in there is because Jay recently became the first, Grand Slam champion in New Japan. He's held all major belts that they had. If he gets this one, that's even more bragging rights for him. It'll be perfect for his character. Perfect. Because, as we know, Jay has held first the U.S. title. Then when he lost the U.S. title, I believe, did he get the IWGP title after that? The heavyweight title?
Yeah, I think so.
Then after he lost that, he got the Intercontinental. And then now recently, he got the Never Openweight title from Tanahashi.
Mm-hmm.
So what better way to really put over the fact that Jay White has dominated New Japan in terms of titles than to have him win this newest one again. That's 5. No one else can say they've done that. And will never be able to say they've done that because 2 of those belts were retired to create that 5th one.
Yep.
So if he does that, then he has bragging rights over damn near everybody.
And with the retiring, so does Shinsuke.
Mm-hmm.
The youngest champion to hold that belt, and now it's gone. No one can be the youngest person to do it. Take that from them.
Nope. So that, I think, is, to me, the best way to do it. Even if Shingo were to get it first, you start a program with Shingo and Jay. And then Jay gets it from Shingo. Either way works. Either Jay gets it up front, and then Shingo takes it from Jay, or Shingo gets it, and then Jay comes back and gets it. Either way works, as long as Jay White gets that belt for the 5-belt Grand Slam.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I want to see it go down. But I think things are moving and shaking in New Japan. You're getting a lot of name drops happening. Kevin Kelly was dropping names for AEW, Impact, and all the wrestlers performing here and there on those programs. Fucking Ren Narita and Yuji Nagata have been performing with AEW, mostly Narita. I think you've got Juice and Finlay performing with Impact, and if memory serves, they lost the Impact title belts recently. Yeah, they have lost them to another Impact tag team. So that means that Finn Juice are probably about to head back to Japan. So yeah, that is the short and long of everything. All right. Well,
I think we covered it. Like everything I could think of.
Yeah, I believe we have. Well, everybody, that's your recorded on a Wednesday night Dynamite episode of Post to Post. All I can say is, hey, we hope you enjoyed it. If we sounded like assholes, tell us. We need you guys to, to interact with us on. Tell us you like us. Tell us you hate us. Tell us things we can improve on. We're on all the shits. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Hit us up. Let us know. Interact. We need feedback. If you are some sort of indie wrestler, former pro wrestler, whatever, and you happen to be listening to this shit, fuck if I know. If you are, cool. That's pretty badass. Get in touch with us. We need guests. We've lost some hosts for, temporary amounts of time. We'd love to have some more people to talk with. Let us know. We'll get you on. We'll figure something out. It'll be a good time. But other than that, this has been the Brothers of Discussion to Post to Post. Have a good one. We'll see you next week.
And just as a final note, we would love to thank the wonderful man with a plan, our good buddy Falcon of Van the Polar, who helps make us sound as good as we can, which means pretty good if you're listening. Thanks. But Falcon, thank you, brother. We love you. Check out And the Polar on YouTube. Watch all their videos. Enjoy them. They've taken a slide as they do some restructuring, but they'll be back bigger than ever. But in the meantime, show them some love. And with that, Blue Chew, Omaha Steak, Squarespace, blah, 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 blah. And I think that's good. Yeah. Bye.
Yeah. Bye, everybody.